I recently got to meet the king of professional surfing, Kelly Slater, to discuss the 2016 World Championship Tour. Now, as you can imagine, when you meet the king of surfing, you aren't just allowed to walk up and do what you want. There was a few rules, the first of which was that we only had 7 minutes. That was fine though, I could discuss all I needed to in that time. The second was a bit more restrictive though. It told me that I wasn't allowed to discuss Kelly's current season result. We met between the Portugal and the Pipe event, at which time Kelly was not having the best season. He was currently sitting at number 9 in the world, which, as you're all aware, isn't Kelly's best ever form, and he didn't want to dwell on that fact. So that's not a problem. When I sat down with Kelly, gave him the choice over the first topic of conversation. And he said he wanted to speak about number 8. I was like, well, what do you mean? Number 8's only one position better than where you're currently placed, and I didn't think he wanted to speak about that. I thought it was a touchy subject. He told me he didn't mean number 8, but jersey number 8, which is Matt Wilkinson. It obviously became much clearer than what Kelly wanted to speak about, as Matt Wilkinson took the first win of the season at Snapper Rocks and followed that up quickly with a second win at Bells Beach. This took most of the surfing world by surprise. What was a little more to form with the fact that Matt spent $4,782 celebrating those wins on alcohol in the bar. Now, once we finished speaking about Matt and his early season form and his drinking habits, Kelly quickly moved the subject on to someone he said he considers one of his favourite surfers on tour, and I'm sure a lot of people agree. That's number 12, John Florence. So Kelly, I've got no problem speaking about John. I do, however, want you to answer for me one question if we go there. He said, not a problem, fire away. I said, is it true John is in fact your son? He told me that this is ridiculous, as him and John have 2 very separate mothers and 2 separate fathers, so it's physically impossible for them to be related in this way. Having cleared up that touchy and slightly out there subject, Kelly couldn't help but congratulate John on taking his first win of the season at the 10th stop of the tour in Portugal. I was obviously also full of congratulations for John. It seemed to make Kelly slightly jealous though, and at this point he reminded me that he's now aged 44 years of age. So it's not really a surprise that guys almost half his age, like John, are taking out victories instead of him. Seeing that I'd touched a nerve and wanting to sort of redeem myself, I reminded Kelly that I remember he won his first title at the age of 20 and his most recent at the age of 39. So he remained the undisputed king of professional surfing. Having massaged Kelly's ego slightly and seeing that he was back on side, I thought I'd push my luck and try and discuss something that I was told I shouldn't have really done at the start of the conversation, and that was the 2017 World Championship Tour. Now, Kelly had obviously already said at this point that he was going to be making it last year and that he wanted to be in contention for titles and things. I said to him, who do you think is going to be your biggest threat? He told me that he wasn't too concerned about John, because John would have too much female attention off the back of his first ever victory. And so it's all good and well speaking about who you don't think is going to be a contender. Who do you think is? He told me that he thinks number 7, Mick Fanning, after his year hiatus, will be back fighting for his 4th World Championship title. At this point I said, Kelly, you seem to be avoiding somebody. He said, what do you mean I seem to be avoiding somebody? I said, well, you've not mentioned number 10, Gabriel Medina. He said, I've not mentioned number 10 because you don't have any 10s left. I said, well, Kelly, if you want a 10, I'm a magician, I'll make one for you. At this point he said, well, if we have to, we can discuss Gabriel, but I'm 99% certain he'll be fighting for a title. But I don't really want to dwell on him too much because I'm still feeling slightly bitter after losing to him at the 5th event of this season in Fiji. Not wanting to upset Kelly, I quickly moved the subject on, and our time together was nearly coming to an end anyway. So I said to him, Kelly, I've got $88 to bet on surfing next year. I want to put it on who's going to be the world champion. I told him that I was thinking about putting it on John. He said to me, put no more than $35 on John, and he'd take the other $53 and he'd invest them in GoPro. He was looking at me funny all the way through this though, and told me that gambling is the game of the devil. So in his opinion, I should take the initial $35 too. I should invest that in GoPro as well, thus ending my 7 minutes with Kelly Slater.